welcome everybody. Everyone's having a wonderful day today. Been an interesting morning for me so far. We had one of our certs expire and it caused all kinds of issues. Nothing like starting your day with a production cert issue. Looks like we finally got our applications back up and running. And we learned some things about what is and isn't supported in the older versions of some of the Azure resources. But yeah, so yesterday we were working on Copilot's website, and we were building the entities to support it. And as I mentioned, I wanted to use graph databases, and it turns out the package I had been using for the last couple of years to access graph databases is no longer being supported. And sure enough, the current package out there is actually having problems, and so I don't want to use it. So I was looking into something yesterday. So sure enough, let's go ahead and switch to a screen. Let me screen set up here. Sure enough, so I was looking at that. So I was looking at this one, the XRAM Gremlin. And this looks like it's actually pretty promising. I actually kind of like what's going on with this, but it doesn't really meet the needs I need. It's definitely not an ORM. You know, if you look at the code they're doing, it's not. It is doing some of the ORM type stuff, but it's not doing it fully, right? I mean, it's in between. Similar to some of there is actually a Gremlin Fluent API out there that you could use, which is really nice. I want something more than that. I want to be able to give an object and basically say save, and it knows how to save that. All right. So I'm going to switch from working on Copilot for a little bit. I'm going to switch to exploring building at least a light ORM that would work against Gremlin, and in particular on Cosmos DB. Probably write this to work against Cosmos DB first, and then actually with some very slight tweaking, we could probably make it work with other things. And I apologize for the pop-ups coming up behind me. Like I say, we are still dealing with some production issues. And I've yet to figure it out. I actually need to keep Teams open today, just in case something does happen. All right, so at any rate, so talking about ORM, so I did a search. I was looking, and there is an ORM out there, not this one here. So there is this Gremlin ORM, and it actually reads pretty well. It does kind of what I'm looking to do. But, you know, this is meant for, not for Neo4j, but it's meant for Node. And I want something that works in C#. So that's really where I boil down to. So I was getting started with this. I opened this up when everything started causing problems. You can see how far I got. So I want to create a Cosmos, we're going to Cosmos Gremlin ORM. All right, so I'm just going to create a new repository for this. We'll initialize that README, and we will again, I apologize that I'm getting distracted. Probably one of those days. And then I want to add license. Was it again? I want oh yeah, I want the GPL. All right, so I'm gonna create that repository, and I'm gonna clone this thing. Well, that's fine. I can clone it. I want to first create a branch. Develop. and branch. Good. And then we want to, so within our develop, we'll go ahead and go ahead. Visual Studio on the repository. Excuse me. Code. New folder called Cosmos Gremlin ORM. Folder there. Oh, so there. We'll create that. On that. Checking something. All right. So now, what are we going to do here? So how are we going to build this? Let's start thinking about what we need here. Well, actually, first, a little bit more setup work here. Folder, source, and our test. And kind of help us out, I'm going to go ahead and create a sample folder. Even though I don't have any code for the ORM written yet, I actually do want some type of sample for this, just so I can start filling out what I want. So let's go ahead now. Oh, I want to create my solution now. Add project. Not really do. I want to do file project. And here's the problem the other day. With Visual Studio, it seems like when you clone a project, it doesn't like to start with go from here. Get a new. There's my blank solution that I want to create. Next, Gremlin or Cosmos Gremlin ORM. Put it in the wrong place. That's okay. And file, close that solution, open this back, and I have another laptop in front of me, so I can't see all my screen. I had to look over real quick. All right, I want to go. Where did it create? I'm just going to there. Do actually open the solution. Just copy this. I want repo code. Now, there we go. Now we got what we want. Now we got in here. Now in here, I'm going to add. We're just going to add class library. We're going to create our. We're going to start. We're not creating our sample. We're going to start with our sample. So Cosmos Gremlin ORM dot sample. Sample. sample created, and okay. Actually, the namespaces are fine. Framework is fine. That because our sample could still be good code. Now, so let's create a couple of entities that will kind of represent what we want. And let's just start with a very simple. Let's just start with. We'll kind of build what we built before, I guess. So. This laptop just so I have a reference. All right. Okay, so we're just going to create a couple of things real quick. And I'm only doing this just so I have this for reference, okay? So let's create our postal address type. Else, which we do, and in here, I know I did this a little bit differently before. Well, I'm going to do that because I want to make sure this will work. So this should work how we were building that before. Let's actually go ahead and add class postal address, or I'm sorry, lookup type. And here, create a public abstract class of lookup type, and a public string ID get. Right now I'm going to create a get set. For those who were on the other day, or if you go to the checked in, Copilota, we did not create. We only created these as getters, not setters. But for right now, I'm going to set it both ways because I haven't decided how we're going to make it work. So we're going to do like that, and then our address type should just be a lookup type. Just be that. Really, I shouldn't need anything else. Here. Just there. Okay. And then we'll create our address class. Postal address. And here, the class. And sure enough, eventually I'm gonna have to actually inherit some other things. But at the moment, I'm building just the base of everything. Then we'll figure out how this is gonna work. So we'll have a public string ID. Public string. Okay. Now we're going to build this a little bit more. So public address, postal address type. Don't think about how documents should be and storing things like that. We're just going to. It's very simple. Public string address. No, I can't type today. You know, I'm actually not even going to do that is delete it right now. And the reason why I'm not doing it is because I am going to base this a little bit off some code I wrote a couple years ago. And I did something a little bit different for the deleted stuff. And it's partially because of the way how Cosmos, you really shouldn't delete things unless you really want to. The belief of doing soft deletes. I generally do soft deletes everywhere anyways. All right, so there's our address. We want to create an event day. Just creating a simple little structure to represent at least an event. It's the very beginnings of an event. All right, so here, an ID. This way. Just looking at notes. All right. That, and we're going to do public string title. There's our event day, so it represents a day within an event, you know, which eventually could have sessions tied to it and so forth. All right, then we're going to come up to this one. Class event detail. I'm not going to worry about that current event. All right. So here's where I got my basis of what I want to build this off of. And again, I'm not interested in writing a sample before I even wrote one piece of the ORM. But I'm doing this just so I can, so I have something to think about. So in this ORM, basically what I want to be able to do, I want to have a save method. I will look at this and build it off of there. So I think what I need to do, I need some attributes is what I think I need first. Let's go ahead and we're going to create a new project. Be on a standard. And this will be called Cosmos Gremlin ORM. It's just going to be just that. Here, we're going to put this in the source. That. All right. Here, I want to make a couple tweaks to the properties. Assembly name is fine. Default name, fine. Okay, that's all fine. We want to go to package, and here I want to generate that package. Package ID I still think is fine. We're gonna this and we'll call it alpha. And object relation for ORM that supports the Cosmos DB Gremlin API. Okay. I'll let the copy. Never remember how to create that copyright. All right, everything else is good. This English. All right. I really don't know why I do it this way instead of just going to NuGet Manager, Package Manager, especially since it does not put the latest version in. Update that. Accept. All right. It's set up. Now, what we want to do, so I definitely think I'm looking at this whole code. And the reason why I'm not sharing this screen is while I'm looking at a prototype that I wrote, did write it for a company I used to work for, there is some of their name in here. And while I'm not looking at any of their code, any of their specific code, I don't want to show it on. They're pretty protective about their stuff. What I do want is look. I'm looking at a couple things here. Bear with me just for a second here. By looking on, I have postal addresses in here, and in here, yeah, I had a. I'm gonna. Okay, yeah. So here's what I want to start doing. Because there are a couple of things missing from here, and this is part of the reason why I was looking at doing something a little bit. So like if we look at the event detail, right? So like for example, when I was kind of mumbling this yesterday, the day before, you know, like in the graph database, instead of the label being event detail, I would rather the label be event. Because that's really what it is, right? It's just that event happens to be a C# reserved keyword, and while you can still use it, kind of reduces confusion if I call it event detail instead. So what I want to do, I want to create attribute, right? So let's just go ahead and we're going to rename this. It's going to be, do I want to call it entity? Yeah, that's what I called it before. But I'll call this a vertex attribute. I'll call this a vertex. Sure enough, when I created the and again, I didn't create an ORM. Created something that used another package that kind of took steps towards an ORM. That's not what I was thinking back then. Sure enough, back then I called it vertex, or I called it a entity attribute, but right now I'm going to call it a vertex. And again, in a graph database, your objects, your entities, they're called vertices. So we're going to make this an attribute. And first thing I want is we need a property here. String of label. Okay. Save all that. Again, this is a problem I have in GoStock. Every once in a while. And then this is going to be Mr. Sets the label for the corresponding Cosmos DB graph vertex. Okay, and then even though I'm going to take the word Cosmos out, right now I'm definitely building this for Cosmos, but I could see a future version kind of separating the Cosmos logic out, but I don't want to do that right now. Because I mean, there are other graph databases, Gremlin, basically Gremlin. All right, and then you want to soft delete. Because again, you know, well, I've been doing this for a long time anyways, but a lot of times Cosmos basically recommends that you soft delete objects. All right, indicating whether delete operations should only perform a soft delete. And then, I mean, so what I'll do is when I write the logic to work with this, we will, it'll know whether to do a soft delete, so just mark it deleted, or to do a hard delete. So actually physically. All right, so true if delete operations should only perform soft delete of the vertex. Okay. All right, so we're going to have that. Excuse me. So, dry mouth today. All right, we need a constructor for this. Oh. Okay, we need just a default constructor. And there, that's good enough there. And then I actually do want we're gonna make some things here. So we'll do string label. So I really do want you to pretty much always do it that way. And this will just set label. Let's just boolean soft delete equals true. That way, you know, again, I want to be a little bit opinionated and say that we want this to quality, you know, to do that. Too softly. Sorry. All right. So that's great. So now, it's like before I had this other property called is active. Name of the ring. Okay, I don't know what I was doing with that, so I'm not going to use it right now. Okay, then the other thing I want to do. Oh, sorry. This label of the good, and so now I do want another method in here. Public static vertex attribute. Some things that I've used in the past. Say get vertex attribute T for each var attribute in type of T attributes. Okay, something I did before doesn't work now. .NET Standard 2. Just write this code same as I had before. It should be Cosmos Gremlin ORM dot vertex. Okay, so I'm getting some errors here. Okay, so custom. I override this. Our attributes in of get some attributes. You know what? For the moment, I'm going to take this out. It is what I was doing before, but let's see if I really need it. And if I do, I'll come back to it. All right. So we'll have this. This is the very first thing we definitely want. And then now, look at postal address. And we're going to decorate this with vertex. Oh. Need to add the project reference first. Now, vertex And then, all right, so then the label will be postal address. Okay. So just doing something simple as that. Yeah, you know, good thing comes up. You know, will we always, you know, it should really just be overriding. You know, point in my head coming there, but for the moment, I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to go ahead and create these on. Day. So here's where this really comes into play. That lookup type one. All right, so we've got like that. So that at least gets us that for. It's fine. All right, now the next part I want. So I do want my vertex ID. Okay, that's why I call these things. Specify attribute usage. Well, what that's telling me. Okay. You find a custom attribute market using attribute usage. Okay, where the source. Oh, okay. And really, this would and we really should. Attribute values for okay. Now we'll go ahead and add vertex. Catch up. Class vertex. And down here, this is going to get a little bit long eventually. We'll at least get started here. I got to look at some things I did before, and sure enough, there's some hard coding. And definitely not copying that directly out. Definitely had a graph client. No, it's not. I'm not going to use it. All right. Here's where I may end up changing some of the things I've already put in that sample. So I'm sure we're not going to do it. Or string ID set, and sure enough, I mean, my sample classes are going to actually inherit this. Sure enough, I just created an ID, so I'll get rid of those. That's good. So we'll have that ID. That's the identifier of the vertex document. String representing the vertex document identifier. So just simple as that. You see something else I'm gonna probably need here pretty soon. Code here. All right. Need a partition key. I need to think how to make this work. Because I don't want to just be called partition key. Hey, Basker's going really good. How about you? How are you doing? How's your all's weather up there? I tell you, the weather here sucks. It's raining again. All right. So yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, it was fun. I was talking to someone. I had a one-on-one with someone this morning, and I was, we were talking about the weather and about, it's been interesting because it never got that cold this winter. It still hasn't gotten warm. It's just been like this constant, not too cold, not too warm, but cold for me though. That's why this winter yet again. All right, so I've got this partition key. I need to think how I want to do this a little bit later on because, like I said, I don't want it to be hard-coded the partition key. I need to think of a way how to make this changeable. But for right now, we'll keep this in just like this. It gets us sets the partition key, or the key of the partition where the data is stored. Sure enough, this is definitely Cosmos related. Talk about eventually I'd like to make this Gremlin, non-proprietor specific. But partition keys are something not unique to Gremlin, but something that is definitely required in Gremlin, or Cosmos, sorry. All right, so this is going to be a string representing the value of the key for the partition where the document is stored. All right, and then I want a I'm not going to do the other two. So we definitely want those two values, right? And so sure enough, let's go to our samples and update those. Here, now this is going to now inherit a partition key. Sorry, not partition key, vertex. Now we can take that ID out. We don't need that anymore. Just update these real quick. So there, save all those. All right, now the other thing I'm noticing that I was doing before, I had a graph property attribute. That's what I want next. Graph property attribute. And sure enough, do I really need to put graph? I don't think so. We just call it property attribute. Okay, and so this is just going to define some things within, so we can define the attributes a little better. Or at least, override defaults, I guess. Probably think. So let's have a couple properties first. We have a key. So the key of the property. In graphs, it's a key value pair, right? This is the way how properties work. So we'll have that key. The name of the key for the property. And this will be, so we'll, sorry, not a string representing the key for the property, or representing the property key name. Key flag indicate property. Had an is key. I don't know what that was used for. I'm not going to use it. We do want it is required. So definitely saying that we can do some validations, right? If it's not there, then we can error off. And then concept of friendly name. I don't remember what that was for. I'm not going to use that yet. All right. So then we're going to have a public property attribute. So if you don't supply anything that is required equals false. Another property I want in here. This one's actually pretty important. Include in graph. So maybe you have a computed value or something that just doesn't get stored in the database. Most likely a computed value. Then we would have this. And then in here, so include graph will be default to this. So that's if you just create it that way, actually. And then we'll just do it like that. Because again, this will be really more for overriding, right? What I'm thinking. All right, and then want this we need to add this attribute to the attribute. Will be attributes for defining a graph property. And we want that, and then what we're going to do, now we can add other things. Okay, so we'll go back to our vertex. In here, E equals ID. Class target. Not is only valid on the class declaration. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. So this isn't going to be a class. This is going to be a method. Not even a method. It's going to be a property. It gets very. All right, so we have that, and then again, the great thing about this is that way, when we create our Gremlin code, you know, it will actually generate ID as a small case ID, which is important because in Cosmos, your document must have an ID, and it must be a lowercase ID. If you don't supply it, then it will just give it its own, which is okay, and that's fine. And maybe sometimes you want a separate ID. Generally, I find that you don't. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. And then right now, I'm not going to put a property in here because I still got to think how we're going to make that work. So I go through more of this. All right, so now we will go back here. We're going to add some more. So property. Oops. Property. Key equals 8. And here's the thing. Actually, I really only need to do that if I offset these, if I change these. So I'm not going to put these in there because so far they're not. Well, okay, yeah. I don't really need to find that like that. But what I do want to do. Okay, this is the event day. So property. And really what we want is if we want to change something. So is required equals true. I think I set that to false, which should be the right value. The attribute for sure. Here required is false. So we'll have that. And we'll have property is required is true. So really this is going to be the case for all these. Except for title. We're not going to make title required. Maybe you don't have a title for the day. And that's actually the default, but I kind of like, if I'm going to have on everything else, I like to find it. Just think it makes it a little bit more easily understand. And then the other thing I want to do, I want to add a to-do on here. If no value, set value to, let's see, if no value in database graph, set value to 8. So in other words, if it doesn't return back, then we'll turn back file restriction. All right, so we got that. That details, we're going to do the same things. Okay, so names are going to be required. And so here's the important part I'm doing here. So by not making them required means that they won't necessarily be there. So actually the code has to have logic to handle that, right? And this is all part of building a NoSQL database. Because there's no schema. Really, NoSQL really should be called, in my mind, should be called NoSQL schema, because that's really the key point in there. But here, so I'm gonna make these others, not required, which means they won't necessarily come back. So we need to be able to handle that correctly. Long story short, say. All right, so start date. We're gonna make start date required. We're gonna make end date required. So this is actually going to end up being edge. We're going to end up changing this. These are really be edges to those events. Schedule release. Schedule release. Actually, I'm going to take this out for right now. And the registration side, we'll make that. We will not make that required either. All right. I want to again. This is the default. I think it makes sense to go ahead and list that just to make it clear. All right, lookup types. All right, here, I'm gonna make these all true. So I'm debating on them. Yeah, I'm gonna make that part in there, at least for now. Yeah, it's just, this is just sample. Although hopefully I will take the sample and put it over the Copalooza lot code. All right, so here I'm not going to add that because that's going to eventually be an edge. All right, so we're going to make the first. We're not going to make the first line required. We're not going to make the second line. We are going to make the city. That's the only thing I'm going to make required. Is the city. Here. No. All right. So that defines that. Quick time check. I have a 1 o'clock. On 1, so I do need to make sure I end in time for. If I rethink how I'm going to do edges, the way I was doing edges in this code a couple years ago doesn't make sense. That's okay. So we at least got this. And just to be sure, it's very simple code so far. Should all build. No errors, no. Also, XCOP is liking everything. Go back to my. And what I want to do. Okay. In this vertex. Let's see here. Let's think how we're going to do this. Let's think how we're going to start doing it. It's actually the sample is actually wrong. Should have created as a console. I'm going to add a console app right now. That even coming up on my list. We're going to add this and Cosmos Gremlin ORM sample console. Because that's, I really should have done it this way to begin with. I just created the whole thing. Console app. I don't know, maybe I'll keep this. All right, and I'm going to add a reference sample class library. All right, and then, so I'm doing this because I'm actually going to need to do some of this. Some of this I still got to figure out what I'm doing. All right, so what I want to do, we're gonna let's just first. I want to create a. We're going to create a public. We're going to create a event detail equals new event detail. And this so name equals test event 2020. About I'm only going to do the required stuff. Now we'll go ahead and put location name equals Louisville, Kentucky, and start date equals 2020, sure, 7/1, and end date equals new date time 2020 7/2. That, and then yeah, I want to just address ID. Public postal address. Okay. That. Not that I'm doing anything with it, but I want to do like that. I'm not going to do anything with those. Right now, I'm just going to create this. Just a simple, very simple object. All right. And because we're going to start writing some reflection. I want to do the reflection on console. And I'm just going to do a very simple console write line event detail name. Okay. Need to apply. This is my startup project. And now what we want to do is, okay, now just run this, just make sure we're creating the class like we expect. Enough. That's 2020. Now what I want to do, I want to start writing Cosmos string, or I'm sorry, a Gremlin string to be able to create this. So I want to save this into the database. And what this should do, you know what, I should be creating my ID. So if you don't, we'll create this as GUID, new GUID, toString. I will default that. So this is doing what it should be doing. We have very simple code, but you know what? Don't want to get too far and realize that, you know, what we're looking for is way down. All right. So what do I want to do? Now I want to be able to take this event detail and get from this object, be able to create the Gremlin string to create it. So since this should be GV, add V, and then the label name, so which is going to be event. Dot, and I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. It's funny, you know, if you don't write things every single day, you forget some of it. And here, so let me show you exactly, or not exactly, but kind of what I'm talking about. Go here to this project here. This is my support project for, or repo for one of the presentations I do. And sure enough, oh, I'm in the wrong. I want many different usernames. I should notice because I've got the dark mode turned on here. Now in here, I want oh, what's oh, why can't I find this project right now? All right, well, let me do it this way. Oh, that's right. Start moving my stuff around. There we go. This is the one I'm looking for. I was just in here the other day. So if I go here, give you an idea of what I'm trying to get to. So Gremlin code looks similar to this. What I want. And that's what I was trying. I was trying to remember what I needed. Quotes. I do need the. All right. So basically, what we want to be able to generate something like this. Says event, and then it's just property name, which will be test event 2020, and then property location name, Louisville, Kentucky, property, start date, (2007-01), So then that's what I want to generate something like that. Just to look at this. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I want like that. Is what basically I want, you know, so using a little bit of reflection, go through that and go and do that. But I tell you what, I'm noticing it's 12:42. I said I have a very hard cutoff. I have to meet with someone at 1 o'clock, and let's go ahead and stop at this point for this. I will go ahead and just checked in. Initial coding added the graph. I'm sorry, the vertex and graph attributes. Basically what we've gotten done so far here. I'll go ahead and get that committed to source control. Again, so tail learn code on GitHub, and you'll be able to find this project if you want to start looking at it. I am probably gonna I'll probably stream a little bit this weekend. Not 100% sure, but I want to be able to work a little bit more on this, and that would make sense. So yeah, I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably do a little bit. I don't know when. Kind of depends on the weather. We're actually planning some new plants this weekend. But that'll probably happen Sunday. But long story short, that be looking at that. Let's look. Who can we go ahead and raid? See who's online right now. Oh, okay, Ardal. Oh, we got some good ones on here. What is Ed doing? And how long has Ed been going? Let's see. First, we're gonna sit through an ad here. Ed is Wasm off. Yeah, let's go to Ed. We're gonna move over to Ed, and hope everyone has a great rest of their day. And I will see everyone. Oh, so I typed in correctly. So yeah, we're gonna move over to Ed, and hope everyone has a great day, and we'll go from there. See everybody.
We'll host again. Counter. See, Counter doesn't have any login or authentication in it. Telly learn to code rating with a party of 6. Thank you very much. Welcome the new 6 viewers that just showed up. We're playing with Blazor, WebAssembly, the authentication bits. And we've just installed a brand new Blazor template that has authentication. We added, thank you for the follow. Is that Kevin Griffin? Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Was that your channel that rated, Kevin? Is that you? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Oh, it's Chad. Okay. Hey, how's it going? So let's see. Telly learn to code is that tail or tell? Oh, sorry, this small font is gonna kill me. Tail learn to code. That's Chad. Okay, cool. Very nice. Just finished up your first week of streaming. It's nice to have friends joining me here. So I know these folks very well. Thanks for coming out and supporting the show. I hope yours went well, Chad. The whole getting on the streaming thing is it's quite a chore. So I mean, getting all the equipment set up and software in place and everything, it takes a while to get going, so congratulations. I'm still baffled as to why this page is kicking me off to authentication. So we just installed